All right, so made a mistake with a customer, actually on a job site. Made it right, but definitely learned from my lesson. So let's go over it, and I'll tell you the whole story here. All right, so I bid a job, small water spigot for exterior, adding one on the opposite side of the house. It's an open basement, and there's a ceiling fan and everything like that. But I went and walked it, and I found the water supply, showed it to the customer. Same water supply that the other spigot. He only has one, so the other spigot was running off of. No big deal, probably 10 feet of copper that I needed. I won probably six solder points to get it to installed correctly. Boom, good to go. It was non-freezing 10-inch spigot that I installed. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Did it, installed it correct, everything. He looked it over. It was great. Job's done, paid in full. And then he texted me or I forget, he texted me or emailed me saying why didn't I install a shutoff valve for the water spigot, and why didn't I basically draw the water supply off of his free city water supply instead of what is coming that he has to pay for, which was the existing spigot. So I was like, well, let me go take a look at it. Let's take a look. So what he basically, technically on my contract, I didn't specify, I wasn't detailed enough where exactly, or even the estimate where exactly I was taking the water from, as far as running soldering a T into his supply, running another spigot. So I didn't know he had another water source that was not metered, so he technically doesn't just paid for his sprinklers, I guess, or something like that. So I'm not going to get into all that. I don't have no idea if that's even legal or whatever, but there was obviously the house only has one water supply coming to it, and that's what I came off of, and the same exact line that the other water supply, the spigot, was attached to. So, and he saw that too. It was apparent that he did not want to pay for me to do it the way he failed to mention in the first place. So basically I just was like, all right, no problem. I'll eat it. I'll run the line completely. This is instead of being 10 feet of solder, this is going to be 65 feet of copper with I would have to say probably 50 to 60 soldering joints to get up and over HVAC beams and stuff like that. I can't go a straight shot, obviously. So I'm gonna say probably closer to 50 soldering joints to get it to the spigot location from the source he wanted to. And I actually put it in front of the shutoff valve for the other spigot that's not freeze proof. So therefore, one spigot actually. Sorry, wife wanted to come out and say hi. So yeah, that's basically. I mean, he obviously the customer didn't want to pay the actual price for it, and then a couple things happened. So I was like, all right. And before I said, go ahead and yeah, I'll take care of it, no problem, I went and I thought to myself, all right, there's a couple things I could say no. You're gonna have to pay for the additional 50 foot of copper and the labor to run it all through up and over your beams and HVAC, everything like that. I could just eat it and just do it. I'll take care of it, no problem. It's gonna take me probably an extra full day for water supply, running that copper, and I wouldn't say a full day, but 3/4 of a day to do that kind of work. I'm not the fastest soldering guy, so but I mean I get it done. It's not rocket science, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's just it takes time. You gotta and you want to make it look neat too. Obviously, you don't want to make it look like it's done by a hack, right? So and then the last one I could do is I could basically refund him, just decline to do the work, and refund him the entire amount. Which also what I was actually thinking of doing, just hey, I think I charged him $400 for the spigot, parts and labor to do it, from the way we agreed upon doing it, the way that we had to sign contract to do it. So anything over $500, I have a signed contract with the customer. So this is obviously more than that. So with the ceiling fan anyway. So I thought about here, I'll give you back your $400, and you can go hire somebody else out, or I can rebuild the work. Because honestly, I would rebuild the work probably $700 to $800 for what he was asking for to redo and run the, you know, the pipe and everything, which is, you know, you're talking probably $60 in copper with the fittings, solder, flux, and the time spent. So yeah, I would say probably $600 in labor, and then, you know, $700 is probably a fair market value for this. It's a long run. It's absolutely a long run. So I was excited about all of it, and then I came back. I was like, you know what? I'll just count it as practice. Definitely won't make this mistake again. I'll take care of it. I'll go get some more copper, rerun it completely, and then put it in line with your already existing shutoff valve for the other spigot. And that way you have your valve that shuts off both spigots, and you have it ran from the correct, or from the water supply that you want it to be ran from. So that's, you know, it's technically it's the same water supply, but I'm not going to argue with the customer. He, you know, he's cordial, but you know, he knew he messed up, and he knew he didn't want to spend any more money. I don't know if he's on a fixed income or anything like that, but so now that's my mistake. I should have been more clear. I should have, you know, I could have, you know, said, hey, no. I mean, honestly, well within my rights, my contract, what it said, I already went over, but I didn't document exactly where I was taking the water from in the estimate nor in the contract. So therefore, it's probably wishy-washy, and obviously, if it goes push comes to shove, you know, contractors are usually wrong in the court's eye, right? So yeah, so it took me a whole day to, you know, get back there, reschedule. Get, you know, pick up the additional materials, rerun everything, soldering. I did have, you know, my employee help, you know, he did help, he did, you know, learning how to solder as well. So, you know, and then, you know, I did have one small leak, you know, you had to take it, you know, drain the system back out, resolder, you know, so it took a minute, but, yeah, it worked out. He was great. He gave me a $40 tip. So, I mean, that, you know, that's something, that's for sure. I mean, he kind of, you know, acknowledges that, hey, I was there, I did the work, I completely, you know, the way he wanted it. You know, I told him he could, you know, turn the one valve off and it shuts both spigots off. So to learn from your mistakes, that's my mistake. You know, it cost me a day's labor and, you know, probably $70 in materials. But I got a lot of practice soldering, obviously, so, which is great, you know, and I know what to, you know, I could teach, you know, my employee a little bit about soldering. He's obviously not proficient at it, but the joints he did make held up and they're not leaking. So yeah, that's I just wanted to share that. That's, you know, yeah, I share a lot of good stuff in this business, but here's one of the mistakes I've made. It is what it is. It costs me a little bit of money, you know, a little bit of a lot of time, you know, full day's labor probably with driving and source materials, all that good stuff. So, but like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. I appreciate it.